Once again, we're back, and I'm Leo, your Qatar branch chair. And once again, we're back with our monthly branch meeting, and our apology that last month we were not able to do this, but tonight we're lucky because we have our good friend who was introduced to us by another friend who's also a member of IIRSM Qatar branch. So welcome, comrades in risk and safety. Just a little bit of house rules. If I can see 15 people for now, and I believe that the number will still increase, and it's increasing. So we are starting now our monthly branch meeting, and just to remind everyone, if you have questions, you can type them in our chat box, and you may also raise your hand. And if I can see questions that seems to be an urgent question that needs to be answered by our speaker, I will just also raise my hand and alert him so that we can take a look at that question, and we will be able to address it. So welcome everyone. Tonight our guest speaker who will be talking to us about 8 characteristics of effective safety leadership. He will be covering leadership behaviors that enable to build an effective safety culture within an organization. He's a senior HSE officer in charge of delivering safety culture program with Qatar Petrochemical Company, or better known as QAPCO. Our guest speaker is an accomplished professional working for a leading petrochemical company in Qatar, where he manages the high performance safety culture program. He holds impressive credentials, being a certified speaker, trainer, and coach accredited by the John Maxwell Academy, a distinguished Toastmaster from Toastmasters International. He is also a certified Psych-K facilitator and a member of International Coaching Federation. He has 2 master's degrees in safety management and MBA in human resource management. Our speaker is passionate about neuroscience, mindset, and behaviors, as well as leadership and organizational culture topics. And our speaker for tonight, whom we are lucky to have with us, is Joseph Siabo Stanley Sr. Mr. Joseph, welcome, and it's a pleasure for us to have you at the branch meeting and CPD presentation tonight. May I now pass to you the stage for your talk, sir. You may go ahead.
Thank you, Leo. Good evening and salam alaikum to everyone from this part of the region. Thank you, IIRSM, for giving me this opportunity to engage with you so that I can share my few experience and insight on this topic on leadership. As Leo was mentioning about, I've been certified from ICF, International Coaching Federation, John Maxwell, Toastmasters, and Psyche. I'm going to bring all this lesson learned, which helped me to see things differently and try to make a difference in leadership as well as in organization culture. So let's see how today we can add value for each one of us. 8 characteristics of effective safety leadership. That's the topic. So let's see what is there in that 8 and what we can learn from it. Before going forward, I want each one of you to pay attention to this. This is going to be an interactive session. I will ask you to think about something in less than 30 seconds, participate. What comes in your mind? Type in 1 word or 2 words. So every answers in this session is going to be right answers, because we are here to learn from each other. So don't think too much whether it be right or whether it is nice to put it on a chat box. There is something which makes you to think on that one. So type on the chat box so that we can able to pick it up and try to build and take it forward. If you're hearing me loud and clear and you understood, you can type the alphabet yes, so that I know that, okay, fine, you got it, what I'm expecting from you all. Thank you, that Krishnuni Tirumurugan, pretty fast and giving me the feedback. Thank you. So let's begin. What comes in your mind when you hear the word leader? I repeat the question. What comes in your mind when you hear the word leader? So take 10 seconds, think about what comes in your mind. Just type in the chat box that word, what comes in, what for you, what that leadership means. Ali is talking about a person who gets others to do the task. Bibin says who leads a team. I believe it is Mohammed, a person who inspires others. Krish, a person leads a group. Tahir says about a good listener. I can't get the full name, but the leader is a good follower. It's good, very good. So you start to see Asad says a leader, guide, and inspiration. Good. Let's move to the next question. This time, I want you to take some time, not 10 seconds, maybe take 30 seconds. Think of a leader who you know very well has influence in your personal life. So think of a leader who has, you know them very well and they have influence in your personal life. Don't use a chat box, just 30 seconds. Think about that person. Bring the picture of the person in your mind. Who is that person who has really influenced in your personal life and you know them well? I believe someone would have appeared in your mind. Now, my question is here is, what is the relationship you have with that a person? So I don't need the name of the person. What is the relationship? Or maybe someone, it could be a father or okay, father, okay. So Krishna Unin says a father, Asad says about a high school science teacher, Tahir talks about teacher, Asad talks about a teacher. Leo talks about his boss, okay. Another 10 seconds. Any more? So Mohammed talks about his boss, Xbox, Tirmuhan, my previous company's GM. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your feedback. So if you look at from the answers, some talked about their managers, the previous general managers worked in the company. For some, it is father. It is a high school science teacher. Some mention about a teacher, not mentioning what is the subject. But if you look at that, these are people not with big titles. So leader doesn't need to be a person needs to have a big position. It doesn't need to be a CEO or maybe a big army general to make a big impact in your life. It could be your father, it could be your mother, it could be your sister, it could be your brother, it could be a friend, or it could be your school teacher. Could influence you to take it forward and make a big difference in your personal life. So John Maxwell says it nicely. Leadership is all about influence, nothing more, nothing less. If a person can make an impact on another person's life and can help him to unlock his potential, it is all about here is influence. So today what we are going to do is to see two amazing personalities, how they can able to influence and make a big difference in the area of work. The first personality I would like to introduce here is Captain Michael Abrashoff. He has written this book, It Is Your Ship. It's an amazing book. I would like to bring some short story about Michael. Michael Captain Michael been given the responsibility to command the U.S. Navy ship by name USS Benford. So when he arrived to take charge of this particular battleship, the previous commander is leaving. And the entire crew, the sailors over there, were cheering up because this commander is leaving the ship. So they want him to leave out. So that is the scene Captain Michael Abrashoff is seeing. So he was asking himself a question. What kind of a legacy I am going to leave? When I am going to leave, what would be the scenario? This is the way they're going to cheer for the person to move out? So he thought about it, and he started to see that this ship is even though he got at a very young age a big position into command the ship, but the ship was not ranking as one of the best. It was in the American ranking. It is one of the very low scoring battleship because of the high cost and high turnaround of people. It was not performing ship. So he started to see that I need to make a change. He is talking about that he went to the canteen and to have the food, and he was standing in the line to get his food. The other senior officer said, "Captain, you don't need to stand in the line. There's a separate line for the senior officers." He said, "It's okay. I will stand in the line along with the sailors to have the food." So that disconnect is there between the seniors and the other crew members of the ship. And the ship was having so much of maintenance activities, and that was taking quite a lot of budget. So Captain Michael decided to engage with each and every one in the ship. So he started to interview them one-on-one, try to check with them what we need to do to turn around. So he was meeting people and trying to understand what is going on, what could be done differently. So like he was engaging with this crew members, one of the crew being asked what can be done. Imagine that it is your ship, what you will do to make a difference. So he was laughing because he said nothing is going to change. And he said, like, I insist to share what is your thought so that we can make a difference. So he was saying to the captain, like, we are in the sea most of the time, and we use certain washers, like the nuts and bolt washers, incompatible ones. So the washers gets rust fast, so that the rust spread onto the body of the ship, wherein they have to repair it. They have to do the repainting of that particular area. And mind, these ships are in the sea, so they have to be doing the maintenance work at the sea. And you know that safety harness and all those things. End of the day, you're putting a person at a very risky environment to do the painting work. And he said all it need is, doesn't cost you $1 to have the right material so that we can avoid the rust. So this was the communication and the information given to the captain. And he ordered. They decided to replace each and every washer to the correct material. They were painting, they were doing the repainting activity every 3 months. Now it become every once in a year they have to redo. They were able to make a difference. He was checking out with the food was not great. So most of the people said that the food which is provided was not great. So he checked with the chef and the people who prepare food, what's their qualification. And when he had a discussion, he understood that they have not been trained, they have not been given special trainings to see what can be done, new foods can be introduced. So he sent the chefs out for training so that they can learn more and try to prepare some nice food. So the morale of the people in the crew made a difference. So small conversations when we had, like each and every one was trying to share and try to make one small change. So the crews started to give the small ideas, and captain listened to those ideas, and he collaborated with them and tried to bring the change. The morale of the team started to build better. And whenever the sailors perform some extraordinary task, captain brings them to the room and dials up their parents and call them and say that, see, your son is doing great, and he's putting his real best for the service of the nation, and the parents are feeling proud of how the son or daughter in the ship is doing great job there. So he made them feel proud and give their full best energy to make a difference. Within 18 months, 1.5 years, what was ranked as the bottom ranking USS Benfold. And they have this naval exercise, the preparedness in case of wartime exercise. They become in the Pacific fleet, they become the number one. Within 18 months, what was at the bottom of the list, it became the first in the list in the performance ranking. And when he left, he says that it was one of the shortest things. He just said, it is your ship, and you know how much I feel leaving from here. And then the people replied back to him by email saying that everyone really felt really missing. So he brought an ownership sense of pride within all the crew members to make a difference. The more success is, even after he is leaving as a captain from the service, the ship continued to do great. They were able to improve their performance. Over the period of another 6 months, they were even ranked as one of the best ships across all the fleets of US Navy. So that is an impact a leader can make when he is trying to engage with the people and try to make a difference. I want you to reflect on this story. I shared few insights about Captain Michael Abrashoff. I want you to, whatever I shared, there could be something which really touched you. So I want you to use the chat box, type that one word, whatever I said, what is the point which really touched on leadership behavior of Captain Michael. Mohammed says care of the team. Krish is talking about interaction, a small change, consistent collaboration. Human asset is the greatest asset. Victor says details matters. Abdul says cooperation, excellent. Ali talks about engagement with the crew members for availing their opinions. Tahir talks about collaboration. Very good reflections from your end. Vijaya talks about emotional touch of calling their parents to make them happy about his team. Thiru says a leader does not need to change big things. Even a small change makes a big difference. Sidhu talks about a good listener. Absolutely. I'm happy that you are able to pick up different notes from this particular story. So let's move on. I would like to introduce the second character. Mohammed talks about consultation for improvement. Good. Thank you for your feedback. Let's move to the second story of today's session. I would like to talk about Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill was being appointed as CEO of a company in America, and they have business across various continents. They are basically an aluminum manufacturing company. So he was being appointed to be as a CEO, and he had 3 months of a period to think about before he takes in charge of CEO. So he was thinking, what is the one thing I need to do so that I can connect everyone together in one page and try to take the company performance to the next level? What would be the one thing? So he thought about a lot of friends and he thought the one thing which can really touch everyone and it can add value and value to the individuals, value to the company, value to the shareholders is focusing on safety. So when you have big companies, when there is a new CEO comes in, there's always a press meet. So they organize a press meet and they introduce so and so Paul is going to be the new CEO of Aloka, and going forward, he is going to make changes there. So the press reporters asked Paul O'Dell how you're going to bring changes to the bottom line, which is basically profits. Paul said, we are going to focus on safety. We will make sure that we are going to have very good ratings on safety. Our numbers on safety will be excellent. What is right now, we are going to improve. And that is the driving force we are going to make a difference. The reporter said, maybe you have not heard my question, how we are going to increase the bottom line. And he said, yes, we are going to focus on safety. So that day, he on his first press conference, he was talking about Aloka will focus on safety. Some financial press reporters, they said this company has brought in the guy who doesn't know where to focus on to bring the bottom line. That was the start. And Paul started to engage with his senior leaders. He said, always we should discuss about safety and we should focus on safety to make a difference. He wants the data of safety, how we are performing. And this was the message he was giving to his team. Within few months of his joining, there was an incident happened in one of the plants, wherein a young worker, say about 18 years of old age, went into an operation wherein the aluminum, there was a machine performing. So it was stuck by the scrap of aluminum. It was not rotating. So there was a barricade. He jumped over the barricade and he tried to remove all those materials, which was not allowing the movement. The moment he removed those materials, the boom hit and he passed away immediately. This really shook Paul, and Paul brought up everyone from the top management to the shop level supervisors. They looked at the incident and they evaluated the incident, and he understood there were two supervisors watching him to do this work. So he knows that this would have been done before and no one stopped this kind of action. This has been a practice. During that meeting, Paul said, we killed him. He said, he went further, he said, I killed him because I did not communicate effectively to you, to the team members, that how important his safety is. He said the HR did not do the role of bringing the right person. The supervisors did not give it the right training for that particular individual to not to do what not to be done. So that's the message he was trying to give to people, that safety is a value, safety has to be taken care at any point of time. And he said, like, any small suggestion which is coming from the shop level, any improvements, we need to address it. And he was one of the pioneers to say this word, saying that there is no budget for safety. If there is an improvement can be done, it must be done. So he was trying to drive down to that message of making sure that any small things can be done. Anything which is there, they need to work and try to resolve it. So all across the plant, he gets the data every day, what has happened. If it is something incident happened, he will personally talk to the people and try to understand and try to see that what can be done to improve and try to make a difference. Over a period of time, there's been very consistent that there is no segue or there is no taking focus away from safety. At any point of time, at the beginning of the meeting, it is all about safety. There was a focus on safety audits to make sure that the safety numbers are good. They take actions to make a difference. If there's an incident happens, it is not the safety, it's a plant manager will explain why this has happened. So he brought in a lot of ownership onto each and every individual that everyone can add value on safety to make a difference. Over a period of time, the safety records, it was almost reaching to zero. In aluminum industry, that was a good record he was able to achieve. As the safety records started to come to zero, the profitability of the company also started to go up. In The Power of Habit, in this book, Charles mentions that someone who was invested on that day when Paul joined as a CEO, and in 10 years' time, the dividends, if someone has invested 10,000, the dividends itself would have been 100,000. And then the stock price would have gone 10x time. The individual would have achieved so much of profitability the company was able to make. So his message was that in one of the messages, he says that safety is like a prerequisite. It is like breathing. It is like an air. Without that, you cannot live. So everyone in the organization should really take safety as a value and try to perform so that you can make a big difference. So what he did is he was able to increase the morale of the people. He was able to feel that everyone are working in a safe environment. When they have that kind of an environment, the productivity goes 10x. Take a moment. Think about what, from this story, what is your key reflection? What is the story was talking to you? What would be the one word? Krish talks about safety is a way of life. As such, safety is a core value, absolutely. The moment talks about empowering to speak up. Evaluation of assessment, training, feedback, quite a lot of things. Very good, Mohammed. Chris, say it. If you something unusual, say it. Absolutely. Safety should be considered as a core value of a business. Very good. Another 5 seconds more. Okay, Thiru talks about safety is a moral responsibility. Bipin says, you neglect safety, you will kill someone. Absolutely. Thank you all for participating. Now, let me ask you, the next question here is, do you see a connection between Captain Michael story and Paul O'Neill Aloka story? Do you see any common connection between these two stories? If you see some commonality between these two stories, what is that? What is that connection? Ownership to others, influence, people. Okay, what else? Commitment, consultation, reaching to others. Another 5 seconds more. Yeah, analytical thinking, Tahir, good. Engagement of others. Values, Krishna, values, giving importance to everyone. Giving value to others, Mohammed. Thank you all. Thank you very much. I would like to give a small spin to whatever you said. Absolutely, all those things are there in connection. So one thing which is connected between these two things is culture of that particular group. There's a group of people, the leaders were able to build a new culture out there. So this is very important. So most of the time, we underestimate the power of the culture. There's a great thinker who says he's a management guru. His name is Peter Drucker. He says, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So I was thinking that what he means. So most of you are engineers or you work in the safety engineering, risk engineers. Let me give a different spin to this thought. So you see a gear wheel, there could be another small wheel which gives the leverage to make the movement. Let me give some values. Low morale and good strategy, minimum result. High morale, good strategy, you have the maximum result. Let's give a value here. So imagine here the value is for low morale is 10 and you have a good strategy. The good strategy score remains constant in both the cases, 80. So 10 plus 10 moral value and good strategy of 80, it's all about 800. But imagine that I have a high moral, the same strategy, it's 6,400. I'm talking about 8x here. So this is the one thing which differentiate between a number one company and a number two company is most of the time their strategy remains the same. Now there's a small change in strategy. Most of the things, the advantage between the number one, number two is that how that group of people, their employees, how is their morale? How the leader is trying to build an environment in that place for innovation, for productivity, for making meaning out their life. They are happy to work. When they wake up in the morning, they love to go to the company and try to perform. So that is where a high moral environment brings in, and that becomes a game changer for any organization. There's another thinker, Edgar Schein, has written a book called Humble Inquiry and quite a lot of other books. But this thought really touched my heart, and I really feel that it is very critical for every leader to understand it. He says the only thing of real importance the leader do is to create and manage culture. If you don't manage culture, it manages you. And you may not even be aware of the extent to which this is happening. So Edgar Schein thinks that the only thing the leader has to do is to create and manage culture, which means that you need to define what kind of a cultural organization you need to create. You need to have a vision. That's what we saw. We say the leaders are visionary. They know what they want, and they need to create it. And after creating it, they need to manage it, making sure that the culture is sustained to take it forward. So if imagine there's no culture, it doesn't mean that if the leader is not creating culture, there won't be any culture. There will be culture. The culture will evolve of its own, but you don't have the control. If there is a 2 or 3 people come together, they will have their own unwritten rules that revolves into a culture. So what happens here is if you're not defining as a leader, it becomes very difficult. The culture will evolve of its own, and it becomes you need to put so much of energy then to change it to in the right direction. So it is very important. As a leader, you need to understand that you can make the culture what you need, so that you need to create one and then to manage it. So that's where you as a leader should have certain characteristics. That characteristics like Captain Michael, Paul O'Neill, it's all one individual. They had a vision, they had the drive to make a change, and they were able to make a change. Whether it's a group of 300 people or whether it could be thousands of people spreading across in different continents, you can able to make a difference. So as an individual, you need to start to pay attention that how I can contribute for a culture and make a difference. So if you look at here, there are 8 characteristics are there. Let's go one by one. First is care and concern. I forgot the name of the person he was mentioning about care. Absolutely. Foundational for to develop a strong culture, a positive culture, the leader should start with care and concern characteristics. If you don't care your team members, if you are not concerning about their safety, what is the risk is involved, how I can able to minimize the risk, then you are not exhibiting the sign of a leader. The leader's role is to take in charge of the group of people for their safety and their well-being. So the moment you have that mindset of taking care of your tribe, you are taking the first step. The second one, I mean, I can give that example of Paul O'Neill. Safety. First thing is safety. Whatever he was mentioning about, there's no budget for safety. If there is required to change something, we will change it. We will buy and we make a difference. If you look at Captain Michael also, he was exhibiting that things I need to take care of me. It could be a small thing. It's sending out the chefs for training to develop their skill set so that the crew members gets a good quality or a good tasty food. So that's a care and concern. Like, how can I make the difference for my team? The second one is clarity. Clarity, first, I would say, for the leader. Most of the time, we talk about clarity for others. I would say the first thing is clarity for the leader. The leader should know what he wants because he has to create and then manage. So he should know what is the one thing he is really working on to take it across. So if you look at Paul O'Neill, he was making sure that I will focus on safety. When I focus on safety, everything gets evolved. If you look at Captain Michael, he was focusing on one mission is to make everyone feel that it is his ship. It's my ship. So what is the one small things I need to bring it here to make a difference? When you as an individual, as a leader, when you have that clarity, what I want, then it becomes much easier. Then next comes is the communicate. So when a person has a clarity, it becomes very easy for a person to communicate to others. You can observe in your surroundings, in your colleagues, in different experience you worked in different organization. Why some leaders are people pay attention and listen to them very well, and they execute the task in a right manner. It's because the leader knows very clearly what I want. The moment the leader knows what he wants, he will able to express and he can able to communicate in a manner that every individual understands and try to take it forward. So, and it is very important that the leaders shares this information again and again. The one thing the leaders, if you look at an effective leader, won't stop saying something only once. They will keep on repeating the same message again and again. I work in an organization and my CEO at any of the meetings, he will always use one phrase: everyone should go home safe. And it's a statement he always uses in his meeting when he is engaging with the people. So it's a constant reminder. So it makes the people to think that it's my I should work towards to achieve it. Captain Michael was talking about it is your own ship. So what will you do if it is your ship? So that certain phrases are said over in time. You all know that we all watch televisions now these days on mobile phone, but YouTube's you still get some advertisements. There could be some advertisements as for a soda or a juice drink. You know what it is. but still you find a lot of sports personalities coming and endorsing that particular soda or a drink. It is to have that when you're going to the supermarket, you'll be able to pick up that brand. It's the same message, but this message is repeated again and again, is to stay in the mindset of the people that this is what we are working to take it forward. So communicate again and again so that it reaches to the hearts and minds of the team members. Connect. You need to connect with your team members, understanding them. Captain Michael was interviewing one-on-one with the team members, understanding them, where they're from, what is their family, and even connecting with their parents also, to making sure that how proud it is. It's important to understand the people much more in advance. Paul O'Neill had factories all around the world, but those days there is no email, it was on phone and fax. He used to get the information what is happening around every day on the safety record. If there is something happen, he will write to them and try to talk to that particular individual, try to understand and try to take it. So he was able to build those connections. Those connections are very important to bring an effective culture. The next one is the collaborate. So irrespective of the titles, everyone has some kind of a thought to make a difference. And in Captain Michael's story, you would have seen the washer. It was just a painter who said that washer, if you change it, if it won't rust, it will be cost effective. So it doesn't come from a metallurgy expert talks about this metal that's have an issue, you have to use this one. A simple idea as a thought, he knows that this is creating rust, you have to change to another model type, it will add value. So you should be open mindset to have these kind of feedbacks coming from the crew or the team, and to collaborate to make a betterment for the whole larger good of that organization. Another one is to coach people. One of the requirement of a leader is to coach people, is help them to bring out their best in every individual. So you need to understand, talk to them, what is their desires, how they can able to add value within the organization. So you should able to coach individuals to take it across. Another important thing is to celebrate. Most of the time, leaders wait for the year end for a figure to arrive and then to celebrate. So we are missing a lot of opportunity in this period of time. Small actions makes a difference. For all the small actions, you can have a small appreciation, just as a small note by email, or a pat at the back. Joseph, you did this good. Azad, your action, this made a big difference. Ali, you did this, it added value for the organization. So you can specify what the small thing, celebrate with him. As Captain Michael said, even he called up his parents and to say that how the son is adding value for the Navy. So you need to celebrate. You don't need to do a big poster and everything. A small talk will inspire. When an individual knows that his action has been recognized, he will give his full energy to make a difference. And the last characteristics of a leader here is commitment. For the test of a leader is how committed he is on his mission. If he truly believes in the safety as a value, he won't compromise. Like Paul O'Neill. Whatever may be the issues, he was taking the responsibility. He is making the change to take it across. The moment if there comes of a compromise there on his values, then it is not a value. If a person takes any value, there won't be any negotiations there. He will really believe in it and try to execute whatever maybe it is. That is his true nature. So it requires a lot of courage. when you commit for something, and then when you commit for something, irrespective of all the challenges, all this surprises, you don't change it because you are committed to it and try to overcome all those difficulties and take it forward. So I start with care and concern. The last characters I'm talking about, commitment, is it is where it knows how good you are as a leader. So commitment plays an important role. Care and concern, clarity, communicate, connect, collaborate, coach, celebrate, and commitment. These are the vitamin C's for an effective leader. When you do this, you are building a strong culture within the organization. And the moment you start to build a strong culture within the organization, it will evolve. It will create an environment where everyone are feeling like as a one team, and make a big difference within a period of, and Captain Michael says, within 1.5 years, they were able to make it turn around. So you don't need big time. The moment you are focused, you are committed, you are working with a clear clarity, you can able to achieve a result in a faster time. So I strongly believe that each one of you listening to this session, you have all those characters. The only thing is the intensity may vary. So you need to really deep dive within you and check yourself, which are the areas I need to work on, where I have to increase my intensity, where I need to make it more visible so that I can add value to myself as well as my team members. So that should be the take home for you to understand, reflect on this 8 characters and try to see that where am I right now? If a scale of 1 to 10 for communicate, am I 5 or am I an 8 or am I 4? What I should do differently to make a difference? How committed I am to the safety values? I'm doing it because this is my role, or I really believe that safety is a value and I can make a difference to me as well as for others. Am I taking time to connect with my team members? Do I know more about them? Where are they coming from? Their family? What is this ambition? What is he working forward? Do I know something more? So these all the small things, if you look at, you should ask yourself that where am I right now? Then based on the reflections, whatever is good, strengthen it. Wherever I'm low, what would be the one action I will do to make a difference? Maybe I will try to say sometimes I'm not communicating well. How can I communicate effectively? What should I say it? How should I say it? I can learn those communication skills and I can make it effective. Do I take that effort to make a difference? So start to reflect on those things. I'm sure that you will make yourself better and you will be an effective leader. A leader is what this world needs at every point, location, every place. When you take care of others, when you not only you support someone in your area to reach out the full potential, to make a difference in their life, it's very important. So I request everyone to take time, do a deep dive, and try to be an effective safety leader. So I open now that you have any questions on the message which I've delivered on the characters. You can ask me. I can share from my experience, my reflections to you. Yes, please, Leo.
Yes, Brother Joseph, thank you so much for that very interesting talk. It was not just a talk, but It was really an encouragement, and I suggest that we as risk and safety leaders, if we can formulate a self-assessment question from out of those 8 points, I think we would better see how we are leading others. And also from out of those 8 points that was expounded by Mr. Joseph, we can also connect that into our management skills so that we can see how we can connect our leadership abilities and our management skills in terms of being part of the equal side of the business. We all know that risk and safety should be should portray an equal contribution in the business square, which of course we are always talking about financial aspect, timelines, quality assurance, quality control, and risk and safety. So if we can formulate it like a self-assessment question, have I been communicating clearly? Have I been collaborating? So perhaps we can do a self-assessment and we can see which ones are our strength, which one we need to enhance further. So I think that would be a very good startup for us to say that we are leading effectively. That's just my short insight, Mr. Joseph.
Thank you. Thank you, Leo. There's another question here, Sulaiman Disu. What are the metrics used to ensure when you communicate to workers, you can measure the feedback if it's effective or not? What is a good indicator? The good indicator is their behavior. You ask them, imagine that you're asking them to wear safety glasses. And if you see that everyone wearing safety glasses, that's a good indicator, which means that what you communicate, people are following it across. So I always, for me, good communication is like, I want to see the result in the field. So in my organization, we have every week, we have a topic. We call it as a safety moment of the week. So we introduce a topic and we look at from the supervisors and the leaders when they do a site walk, how do they performing it? It's not that they understood that safety movement, what it is. Are they using that movement and they have the reflection and you see that behavior taking place? So that is very important. So it's very important that we communicate and we don't see it in their behaviors, which means that our communication is not effective. So it's very important. I personally, my organization looks at as in the behavior of the people. We ask something to be done like this manner, and we expect the people performing in that manner. If the behavior is aligned to what has been communicated, which means that what we said is they understood well. Another quick measure I would say is when you say something, you ask them to give feedback. Ask them to say that, what did I mention? Then you will understand what you said is apple and what I understood is orange. When he is trying to describe it as an apple, then he understood that what you meant and he understood. So it's very important to, as a leader, to have an immediate feedback before they performing the behavior. It's very important so that they really understood well what was your expectation. So that's where the clarity comes in. Thanks, Sulema, for asking. So Mohammed, educate the team to develop a healthy culture, monitor. So it's all summarizing the things. It was insightful, I'll explain. Thank you, Ali and Mohammed, for the feedback. Is there any questions, members?
Any more question from for our resource speaker tonight, my friends?
If there's no question, one last action from your side. What will you do tomorrow after listening to this talk? What is one thing you are going to do that will make a difference in in your journey of safety leadership? I would like to see the comments. What will you do tomorrow differently to make a difference in your journey of safety leadership? I would like to see a one-liner. Okay, Mohammed says improve communication. Amin says try to implement these elements. Thank you for saying that. I will personally evaluate myself against these points out which make. That's very good. That's powerful, Ali. Just only share the knowledge which I've gained today to my colleagues to make them right future. Good. That's excellent. Apply what was learned. Thanks, Leo. Asad will make a note of 6 is in my personal first page and a personal reminder. Powerful, Asad. I mean, checks my system if I have one or not. Good. I mean, Muhammad giving chance to others to come up with new ideas to carry out. Powerful collaboration makes a big difference. Thanks, Muhammad, for saying that. Influencing people to become a better safety leader. Good. You can make one person you can influence to be a safety leader. Thanks, Tirumurugan, for saying that. Thank you all. It was a pleasure sharing my insights on safety leadership. Thanks, Leo. Thanks, Julie, for giving me this opportunity to engage with your members of IIRSM. Thank you. With this note, I'll hand over back to Leo.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. I will send you our certificate of appreciation. It's already prepared, but unfortunately, I cannot share it here. But it's really great to have you with us tonight. And I hope that this will not be the first and this will not be the last. Perhaps we can collaborate and do some projects within IIRSM, not only in Qatar, but with the UK office as well. So thank you so much. And just before we close, let me just give you a little bit of announcement. My comrades in risk and safety, the recording of this CPD presentation will be available at IIRSM member resources starting October 1, and this can only be accessed by members. I believe there was an announcement about our renewal of membership. So I encourage everyone so we can access the WRSM portal, renew your membership. And if you know someone who wants to join, also avail of the discount that's provided by UK office. Also, Qatar Brands is on its 10th year this 2024. And hopefully we can come up with some programs before the end of the year, as we are planning to have our face-to-face meeting and celebrate our 10th anniversary this December. And also, I'm encouraging everyone, if you have bite-sized presentation that you want to share to us, let me know. Let us know in our group chat. It doesn't matter. It could be a 5 minutes or 10-minute presentation, bite-sized one. Let me know, and we will put you on schedule hopefully by next meeting. So once again, thank you so much for attending tonight. It's such a great pleasure to have with us Mr. Joseph Stanley, a renowned speaker in his field. And thank you, gentlemen, for attending. Thank you, Julie, for facilitating this meeting. I hope to see you again next October, and I hope to hear someone giving a bite-sized presentation. Thank you so much. And Mr. Joseph, I will send you our certificate of appreciation as our gratitude for having you with us tonight. Thank you so much, and stay risk and be safe always. Risk-free and be safe always. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.